Year 2003. A quiet gas station sits beside a highway in Massachusetts. An elderly couple walks up to the counter. No weapons in their hands, no masks on their faces. Yet in just a matter of days, they are walking away with millions of dollars from a state lottery. And it is completely legal. But a few hundred miles away, at the place where some of America's brightest minds are trained, a student inside an MIT lab clicks a computer mouse just once. And at that very moment, the mathematical empire built by that elderly couple comes dangerously close to collapsing like a house of cards. This was not a game of luck. It was one of the greatest, quietest, and most invisible battles of intelligence in history. On one side stood Jerry Selbee, a retired small-town grocer from Michigan, and his wife, Marge. On the other side was a team of hyper-rational young mathematicians from the world-renowned Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT. There was no physical confrontation between them. No blood was spilled in the streets. But behind the scenes, a strategic chess match was unfolding. One so sophisticated that it managed to outsmart even the officials responsible for overseeing the system. Today, we're diving deep into that invisible war. We'll discover how a simple mathematical formula allowed these two groups to turn a lottery system into something that functioned almost like a personal bank. But this story is about much more than winning the lottery. It's a story about human ambition, hidden weaknesses within complex systems, and a fascinating truth that may forever change the way we think about luck, effort, and success. Before we dive deeper into the story, we need to take a step back. Everett, Michigan was a small town with a population of barely 2,500. Here, Jerry and Marge spent 30 years of their lives running a small local grocery store. Every day, they would wake up at the crack of dawn, stock the shelves, and live a very simple life. While Jerry was certainly no high-profile scientist, his mind possessed a God-given talent. In the blink of an eye, he could spot hidden patterns or flaws in any maze of numbers. One lazy morning in 2003, Jerry was sitting at his grocery store counter, reading a brochure for a new lottery in Massachusetts or Michigan. The lottery was called Windfall. Millions of ordinary people looked at the colorful letters of this brochure and saw an impossible dream of changing their fortune. But Jerry's eyes weren't dreaming. He was staring at a mathematical loophole hidden behind those words. The lottery had a very peculiar rule called the roll down. Normally, to win the jackpot in a lottery, you have to match all the numbers. But if no one matches all the numbers, the jackpot money would accumulate until it reached a certain limit, which, in the case of Windfall, was $5 million. Under the rules, if the jackpot reached $5 million and no one matched all the numbers, that money was distributed among the lower-tier winners, meaning, for those who matched only 5, 4, or 3 numbers, their prize money would multiply overnight. Jerry sat down to do the math with his familiar yellow notepad and pencil. He wrote down the calculations. During a roll-down week, the mathematical value of each $2 ticket shot up to nearly $5. What did this mean in simple terms? It meant that if you bought a sufficient number of tickets during a roll-down week, according to the laws of probability and mathematics, there was zero chance of losing. You were guaranteed a profit. To test it for the first time, Jerry spent $3,600 of his life savings on tickets. He didn't even tell his wife, Marge. His mind was filled with a strange mix of excitement and fear. What if the math was wrong? A day later, the lottery results were announced. Jerry sat down to check the tickets. The result? In return for his $3,600, he got back $6,300 on his very first try. The next time, he grew bolder. This time, he played with $8,000, and he returned home with nearly $16,000. Jerry realized he had found the key to a gold mine, one that was being guarded by the state itself. He confessed everything to Marge. Together, they set up a family syndicate called GS Investment Strategies. They brought family members and friends into the business as partners. Everything was running like a dream. But right then, they hit their first major roadblock. The Michigan Lottery Authority suddenly decided to shut down the game. Was this the end of the road for Jerry and Marge's dream? Or was this just the calm before a much bigger storm? Jerry did not yet know that his mathematical formula would lead him onto a battlefield where he would face off against some of the sharpest young minds in American history. When one door closes, as a rule of nature, another opens. 2005. Even though Michigan's windfall had shut down, Jerry was not one to sit idle at home. He learned that a new lottery game had started in the state of Massachusetts called Cash Windfall. The rules were almost the same, but this time, each ticket cost $2 and the roll-down cap was $2 million. Jerry didn't waste another moment. He and Marge hopped into their Ford. From Michigan to Massachusetts, they embarked on a long, exhausting 12-hour drive. They arrived at a corner of a small town in Massachusetts at a store called Billy's Beverages and another called Dinkin's Donuts. When Jerry asked the employees to print out hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of tickets all at once, they thought the old man had lost his mind. But when Jerry showed his calm smile and the flawless calculations on his yellow notepad, the store owner, Paul Martis, realized this senior citizen was no ordinary man. Although the process of buying lottery tickets seemed simple from the outside, in reality, it was backbreaking work. According to Massachusetts lottery rules, printing tickets from a computer file or through automated means was strictly prohibited. Every ticket had to be printed manually from the counter inside the store. Jerry and Marge rented a cheap motel room. Every day, they stood at the lottery machines for 10 to 12 hours straight, printing tickets. Once the stores closed, they would haul those hundreds of thousands of tickets in plastic bins back to their dingy motel room. All night long, the two of them would manually sort, group, and count those tickets. Working non-stop, Jerry's hands would grow raw, and large blisters would form on Marge's fingers. The ultimate truth is that behind what seems like easy money lies an unimaginable amount of grueling labor, something only those who walk that path truly understand. No success is ever achieved without sweat and exhaustion. During every roll-down week, they printed hundreds of thousands of tickets, making thousands of dollars in profit each time. They thought they would keep playing this game forever in this quiet corner of Massachusetts. They believed no one else would ever find out about their gold mine, but they were gravely mistaken. Because just across Boston, at the MIT campus, the breeding ground for the world's finest scientists, a group of young minds was developing their own secret weapon. While Jerry was using his old-school method of paper and pencil to calculate the odds, these students were building a system that would soon threaten to bring Jerry Selby's quiet empire crashing down. Who were these young minds, and how did they enter this game? February 2005. James Harvey, a senior majoring in mathematics at MIT, was searching for a project idea for his term paper. His assignment was to analyze various state economic databases. Suddenly, the Massachusetts Cash Windfall Lottery caught his attention. The very loophole that Jerry Selbee had discovered from his grocery store. James Harvey found sitting in an advanced MIT lab. He realized that this lottery wasn't actually gambling. It was a mathematical loophole offering a guaranteed return. James knew he couldn't pull this off alone. He needed capital. He gathered his dorm mates. With everyone contributing just $20, they built a small pool of funds. The first time, they bought $1,000 worth of tickets, and a few days later, they walked away with $3,000.
We can actually scale this. I'm telling you, it's gonna work. This is just...
Following this remarkable success, James teamed up with his classmate, Yaron Liu, and a few other brilliant young minds to register an official company, which they named Random Strategies Investments. They didn't treat this as a simple game. They turned it into an institutional operation. They developed an optimized algorithm that could analyze exactly which stores could print tickets at the fastest speed. But it didn't stop there. Another player stepped onto this chessboard. He was Dr. Ying Zhang, a highly talented biomedical researcher at Boston University. While debating the mathematics of the lottery during a hangout with friends, he too discovered the flaw in cash windfall. He went on to establish the Dr. Zhang Lottery Club. Now, on Massachusetts soil, 3 highly powerful syndicates were playing at the same time. An eternal mathematical truth of the lottery is that during a roll-down, the more people buy large volumes of tickets, the more the jackpot profits are divided among the winners. Simply put, if you play alone, your profits are astronomical. But if someone else buys an equal amount of tickets, your profit margins plunge exponentially. This was an invisible battlefield. No one held a gun, but everyone began tracking each other's movements and ticket purchasing patterns. The MIT students realized that if they couldn't force Jerry Selbee's quiet group out of the game, they would never achieve their desired profit margins. And so, in August 2010, the MIT team came up with a devastating master plan, a trap designed to force Jerry Selbee out of the game for good. What was this master plan? And how was Jerry Selbee about to fall into their trap? August 2010. Normally, when the lottery authorities officially announced that the jackpot was about to reach $2 million, only then would Jerry and everyone else go to the stores to buy tickets. That was the standard routine. But the MIT students calculated that if, before the lottery authorities' official announcement, they suddenly bought $1.4 million worth of tickets all at once, what would happen? The jackpot would cross the $2 million threshold on its own, ahead of the lottery authorities' estimates, and the roll-down process would trigger in the background before the lottery board could even announce the official roll-down date. As a result, Jerry Selbee and other ordinary people wouldn't even get a chance to buy tickets. MIT would sweep up the entire jackpot pool all to themselves. When Jerry drove into Massachusetts and visited a store, he was greeted with strange news. The lottery authority hadn't announced any official roll-down date yet. Yet the word inside was that a roll-down had already occurred, and someone had swept up the entire jackpot. Jerry stood there, stunned. For the first time, his trusty yellow notepad's calculations had taken a massive hit. He realized they were no longer alone in this game. A hyper-intelligent opponent had stepped behind the scenes, rewriting the rules from within the boundaries of the system. But Jerry was not one to back down. He sat down with his yellow notepad. He began meticulously analyzing the lottery sales data and winning number histories from the past few weeks. Within just a few hours, he tracked down the digital footprint of this invisible ghost. He calculated from the lottery data exactly on which day, at what time, and from which area of Boston those $1.4 million worth of tickets had been purchased. Jerry smiled. He now understood his opponent's identity and their capabilities. He realized that while these youngsters were brilliant, they had a weakness. They were overconfident. Jerry prepared to make his countermove. He devised a strategy that could completely neutralize all of the students' technological advantages. Another harsh reality is that experience and a calm mind are often far more powerful than modern technology. When the battle is one of wits, patience is the ultimate weapon. Jerry now doubled his capital. He understood that to survive this MIT trap, they had to play faster and on a much larger scale. A fierce battle began. On one side, MIT's coding and algorithms. On the other hand, the hard-earned experience and mathematical perseverance of Jerry and Marge. But neither side knew that a third eye was watching this invisible game of chess. An eye belonging to someone who, with a single stroke of a pen, could reduce this entire mathematical empire to dust.
Year 2011. While analyzing the Massachusetts Lottery Board's database, journalist Andrea Estes noticed an unbelievable anomaly. She saw that millions of dollars in lottery winnings were being pulled from specific retail outlets in remote areas of Massachusetts every year. And these winners were not like ordinary lottery players who struck it rich out of the blue. They were winning systematically, time and time again. The investigative journalist launched an inquiry to untangle the mystery. And as a result of her investigation, one of the greatest lottery mysteries in history began to unravel. The front-page headline of the Boston Globe read, "How a group of MIT students and a Michigan couple gamed the state lottery." When this sensational news hit the stands, it sparked a massive uproar. Public outrage grew rapidly. Ordinary people began to think that the entire lottery system was a massive scam. They suspected the state was secretly allowing a privileged few to become millionaires while draining the pockets of everyday citizens. Pressure mounted on the government. The governor of Massachusetts and the lottery authorities quickly formed a high-level investigative committee. Jerry Selbee, James Harvey, and Dr. Ying Zhang were summoned for questioning. One question was on everyone's mind: would they be going to prison? But what investigators discovered at the end of the inquiry left them utterly speechless. The committee found that neither Jerry Selbee, the MIT students, nor Dr. Zhang had broken a single law. They hadn't hacked any lottery machines, they hadn't bribed any lottery officials, and they hadn't even shared any insider secrets. They had simply utilized a basic mathematical truth, a loophole hidden inside the very rules the state itself had created. Legally speaking, everything they did was 100% legitimate. This reveals a profound life lesson. The boundaries of law and morality do not always align. What is legal may not always be moral, yet what seems impossible can sometimes be achieved simply by looking at the rules from a slightly different angle. Although they escaped legal trouble, facing public outcry and a moral dilemma, the Massachusetts government was forced to shut down the cash windfall lottery for good in 2012. And with that, one of the most brilliant, quiet, and thrilling mathematical wars of wits in history came to an end. Over their long 9-year run, Jerry and Marge Selbee earned a total of $26 million. Yet remarkably, this immense wealth did not change their simple way of life in the slightest. They continued living in their old wooden house. They didn't buy flashy sports cars or luxurious mansions. Instead, Jerry used the money to pay for his children's higher education, secure his grandchildren's future, and offer affordable loans to help the residents of Everett build their own homes. For them, this victory was never about the money. It was about the profound satisfaction of solving a puzzle. Meanwhile, the brilliant young MIT graduates used their winnings to launch successful ventures in major tech sectors. When we think of lottery stories, we usually picture a dream of blind luck, a game where people simply test their fortune in the dark. But Jerry and James's story teaches us a different truth. Sometimes, the complex puzzles life throws at us aren't solved by divine intervention, but by stepping back, focusing deeply on the numbers, believing in your intellect, and taking control of the system. We too are constantly navigating invisible systems of our own. Don't you think that somewhere behind the ordinary rules of the world, a golden glitch is waiting for you too? Look a little closer.
Perhaps the next puzzle is waiting just for you.